All right. Once again, I'm here to bring you another video on entries. Um, if you looked at the past videos, I talk about catching entries, mainly out of the Asian session, and my main thing is use that as a reference for you not to blow your account doing New York. You could trade however you want to trade, but I just want to add these tips that you could use to avoid getting caught. Now, one thing I know from my experience trading is this. And before I get into that, I just got to put out the disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. Do not take anything on YouTube as a financial advice ever. Do your own research. Consult a professional investment advisor before making any investment decisions. I'm only sharing this education that I learned from a lot of good traders and my own experience trading. So nothing's new under the sun being created with trading. You see a lot of things, people change their names, but everything still comes back to market structure and important support and resistant levels. Now, with that said, as I was saying before, if you watch the videos, you know I like coming out of the Asian session and catching moves to avoid any pitfalls of New York. Now, in the Forex community, a lot of times people will send out signals. And a lot of times you could be successful taking these people's signals. You're just pushing the button. You just putting these numbers in the your MP4, and you're at the mercy of someone else analysis. Now, this is a scenario that happened on maybe Friday. Let's say there was a signal came out for Euro USD. Another thing, if Euro USD is your pair, that's why that should perk your interest, because this is your pair, this is your asset, and it's a good idea to stay with one asset until you get confident before you get to trade another asset. It's like a relationship. Don't cheat on your girlfriend. So you kind of gotta get a relationship with these and understand their behaviors. Now, you get, let's say it's 6 o'clock. You get this signal from whatever, all these signal groups or whatever, your mentor, whoever. They send you this signal. It's at 6 o'clock. Now, the best thing, what I do, because I have taken some signal setup, but I didn't necessarily just take it without doing your own analysis. When time permits, if you don't have enough time to do an analysis on a signal, then you better off not taking a trade, or take that trade in your demo, because I'm telling you, it could end real bad. Now, with that said, now let's say you get a signal. They told you your entry was at 1.0495, and they even gave you a stop loss. They gave you the TPs. The best thing to do, and it doesn't take long to mark up a chart. If you do this enough, this stuff will be first nature. You learn how to operate your trading view and learn how to operate all these tools, and they work very good for you. Now, you mark your stop loss. They gave you your entry point. You have your TP1, 2, and 3. Now, you got all that. Right now, this market is going sideways. It's going sideways. So, the best thing to do is, well, we kind of see, this is the hour chart, and we see that the trend is going up. But we also see, we start getting some resistance up here. Well, the best thing to do, well, it's not the best thing, but one of the things I do, I will go and create my own subjective trend line. So basically, I go from here all the way, let's say, until it touch here. Now we have these highs of here. Okay. Now I'm going to draw my zones. So let's say I'm going to make this my zone right here. That's my zone. That's where I'm looking for. If it breaks out of there, I'm going to look for it to break, and then I'm going to start looking for some buys. Now, come down here. You see all this up here. So I'm coming up here to these last lower highs. This is on the 1 hour because I'm going to drop down. I'm trying to find me the best entry. So I'm going to just take from here. I'm going to just take those 3 wicks right there. So anything under here, I'm going to be looking for sales. Now you did that, you see whoever got these signals from, this is what they're saying. They're looking at the probability of if the market breaks this level, this Asian session here, then this is the entry that you'll be looking for down to this TP right here, which should yield you about 50-something pips. Now, keep in mind, okay, it's 6 o'clock. You got time to look back into the future. Now, remember what I said about this Asian session. One thing about this Asian, one thing I noticed, you noticed this market, when it broke out the previous Asian session, say this was a Thursday, on Wednesday, it broke out. This candle right here, keep this in mind, this candle right here broke out. This candle broke out. Now, looking back into your, if you relate to, they gave you a TP, you notice this candle right here, it broke out and it gave a retest of this area, right? But also, this area right here, this high, right here, this high of Asia, right? And this low of Asia. So we're going to go ahead and, because I want to show you something. That's your high of Asia. That's your high of Asia, okay? And this is your low of Asia. This is low of Asia, right? Now, if you go back and look in the previous video, I said I always look for retest. When it breaks out of here, I'm looking for it to come back here, or it to come back 50% of this zone. So if I marked off 50% of this zone, right, that'll put my areas around about right here, right? It's gonna put my right here, and you see when you see candles like this, so I go ahead, you can do this too. It's possible entries. But I'm gonna drop down to a time frame. Remember, I'm looking for the area either come back and give me a retest or break out here. You notice it broke out of here, came back, but it didn't touch. So I'm expecting at least a move here, and that will work well if you do get your entry here, right? If you do get your entry here, if you get that entry, I mean, that's going to give you about 30 pips, which is outstanding. So if you get in here, you can automatically know, okay, this high Asia, this right here is probably would be my first TP. That's what I would look for at first as a take profit here, even though they said the TP1 is here. Now, you got 50% of the section right here, which is also below that TP1. So whether you get in on your entry here and you start moving into stop profit and you just stay in this trade, that'll be a solid. It's good forecasting. So that's good. So you get anywhere from 64 to maybe 70 points. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to break this down. Right. Let's let's take. I'm going to break this down because I want to break this down to here. Now, the reason I'm breaking it down to here because I want to get the best move possible within here. Is there an entry for when the market broke out here? When this market broke out here, I want to find the last sell candle, and I'm gonna base my entry off of that. I'm trying to get the best move possible out of here. So I'm gonna come down to the lower time frame. I'm gonna look at the 30-minute. Okay, the 30-minute, that's giving me entries up here, right? Go down to 15, and you're starting to see what I was looking for. That's that push. This is on the 15-minute, so you can stop at the 15-minute and look for an entry, right? So that's a 15-minute. So if I drop down to the 5-minute entry, what do we have? Same move. So this move right here end up going all the way up here and get this breakout. So you could take here, you could take it here, right here, this last move up, and take this last candle. So let's say I take, I'm looking at this last sell candle, right? I'm looking at this last sell candle, and I want to see if I get a entry somewhere in here, right? Be mind you got your set your stop loss. Set your stop loss about 20. You can set it 20 to 30 pips. So set your stop loss, 20 pips. You can set it here, or you could have set it below this fractal here, but we'll set it down here. We'll set the stop loss. So the stop loss down here, and you can put a pending order in here. So that's going to be a pending order. Now I'm going to go back to the 1 hour to show you what that's going to look like. So here, I'm going to play it. You see the market, it's coming out. Okay, we're going to speed that up a little bit. If you notice on the 5-minute, look. So what happened? This is the 5-minute chart. This is why I like that entry. This was the 1 hour entry. This was the 1 hour entry. Now when you drop down to the 5-minute, you're gonna see just how powerful the entry was. Look, it came down to here, right into this zone that I said this is where you set your entries at. It didn't even touch it didn't come close to your stop loss or the lower Asia, right? Now, this is the 5 minute. You got that drop, right? It broke here. Now, you could wait for a retest to see if it's going to sell back down, because what if you didn't get that entry? This is why it's better when you go back, when you look, whatever time you get this, you see what this 8 o'clock candle did, right? And we all know all the nonsense that happened at 9 and 9:30 with the New York Open. So this is why this market broke out of here. I was waiting for a retest, and look, on the hour, you did get a retest, right? You had 33. I mean, if you would have put in a buy there, you would have 30 something pip drawdown, right? But depending on where you set your stop loss. But if you had this pending order down here set, then that just put you in two positions and you riding it up. That went 28 pips, right? That's if you would have played off the hour, right? If you would have had a entry here and the entry here, because you might not have got this entry. You didn't get we did not get it. Just this candle just came out. We did not get it. We didn't get no type of warning that this was going to happen, but we did look and we knew we was in consolidation on the lower time frame, right? So you could have easily, I wouldn't advise it you tried in your demo, but you could have easily set a buy stop here. You could have put a buy stop down here. If you don't know the buy stop, I guess you need to go to your academy or whatever courses you're in. There's a lot of people teaching about that, but I'm not here to go through, what is a buy stop, unless we're doing a one-on-one. But you could have put a buy stop at this low, because once you get a breakdown here, the market is coming back. It's going to come down here and take out all of these previous little lows and stuff. It's going to target those areas. So even with a buy stop, that's a 70 pip ride on that 1 hour candle. I know this in replay mode, but this is stuff like happening. But I see stuff like this all the time in the market. If you ever find yourself on a chart and like, no, it can't. It's not gonna come. It can't come back there, but it can, and it possibly will. So that was an entry. Now let me show you something else. I want to go down back to the 5 minute. I like the lower time frame because look, you see this entry right here. Let's say you did get this entry right here. That was your entry. And the entry, this thing went up, 60 some pips before before it pulled back again. Now, it already hit TP1. It already hit your TP1. And you was like, well, are you going to get that move for TP2? Well, you see this long candle right here? When you see this long candle, when you see engulfing candles, it just worked for me. I just looking, considering what happened. I'm automatic. I'm doing this. I'm taking this entry right here. I'm going to take that fib and measure this candle. If you know anything about Dow theory say the market will usually come back and give you 50% of a move. So look, this happened at 8 o'clock, right? And remember what we know what happened at 9:30 and all that. Don't get into that. Don't start guessing, right? But look, This happened at 8:30. You got this candle. There's a possibility, excuse me, that you can get a entry off this 5 minute candle for another sell down. Now, this it did come back here, and this gave up 40 points, 40 pips off that 5 minute candle. Off that 5 minute candle, it gave up 40 pips. It gave up. Even if you would have entered on the 15. Even if you entered on the 15, this candle right here, this candle right here, you still got 50%. So it don't necessarily have to be, engulfing because, that was a buy candle as a sell. That was a big move. And moves like this, you will always get, you'll get some pullback. A lot of times when you get pullbacks like this, even if you was going from this high right here to this low, and you switch that to, let's say, this is euro. You always gonna still get your pullback. So that's how I catch a lot of moves, and it don't matter what it is. I don't care if it's NADs, regular pairs, but it's very important to always look back into the future of those moves. Always use the Asian session as a reference because that's how the day gets started. End of the day, New York, everything goes consolidations. Decisions are being made right here. They trying to decide, which way we're going to go, right? So don't worry if the market take off. It make this move up. Look, it came back, right? It gave you an entry. Now, because of this entry, now this had been making lower highs. It did not come down here and break here. So you might be looking at it from this perspective, well, I think the market is going to keep pushing. Well, let's see. Did it? Did it keep pushing? Did it? Did it keep pushing? Well, it did. And based off of that one move right there, it ended up getting you back to, 109, 110 pips. So, I was just, I find a pair and just trade that one pair until you get good enough to start looking at all these other pairs. Because if you was trading Euro USD, right, you wouldn't have been surprised by none of this. You'd have been ready. Whether it's above or below, you'd have had to move ready. If you've been monitoring, you've been tracking this 2-3 months, there should be somewhere up here, there should be a sale waiting because you already seen it. Okay? So with that said, I might do a follow-up. Just if I come back to this chart, we're gonna see. Matter of fact, I'll probably leave it because I don't really trade this. But I might come back and revisit this, and we'll see, what happens. Is this gonna happen? Will this happen? If this is your pair, you may be expecting this, but I can come back here and like, oh look, it did exactly, I didn't take the trade, but I'm gonna come back and look and see what happened. Did this market break out of here and keep going, or because notice it broke out this consolidation and came back to this consolidation. So, and keep in mind these previous TPs and stuff like that, they're still relevant because the market could very well break out of here, and if it breaks and closes below your, you get a close beneath your TP1. You don't have to guess. Okay, what is my next target? You have here, down here. Look, you have your TP3 over here, right? And that's a good. If your TP3 is here, just a little thing. Look what we got over here. We have a, that might be an area of interest. Just saying, this might be an area of interest. The market could very well come down here, depending on the strength of the dollar, because that's another thing you have to check. You do have to check the what's going on with the dollar. If you know what's going on with the dollar, you'll go to the dollar index and see if the dollar is pushing up, and that's how you can flip back to your USD and say, well, I'll be looking for sales. But this is the area right here where you're gonna get some action, a reaction down here. As always, look, you got consolidation, market came down here, bounce, went up. What are the chances of the market coming back here and maybe doing the same thing? It's very possible. So once again, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want one-on-ones. Just inbox me and we can discuss, whatever you may want a little more insight on. Thank you very much. This concludes this video.